act natural. It's not like you've been gone for a year. So I kind of want to let you sit in on me writing copy, because that's just the best way to learn. As in, not just with me, but like watching someone do something is hands down the best way to learn how to do something. And hopefully, I want to show you that copywriting doesn't have to be like this boring ass thing where you're just following a bunch of formulas and trying to do the right thing. But it actually can be a very playful and creative act, and I believe that's what it should be. And this email is very special because it's going to be Valentine's Day related, because that big day is just around the corner. Shout out to all the single people like me. Lonely. That's gonna be fun. But even if you watch this further down the line, you might want to reflect on how when you're writing copy, you kind of need to be aware of like what's happening in the world and how you can reference that. FYI, I tend to talk a lot, so let's try not to do that. So let's go to my screen. What I did is I concealed the brand name, obviously, because I am not going to ask my client if I can film this video. I just don't want to do that. And at the same time, I don't want to have like copyright infringement, no pun intended, problems. So, we're just going to pretend that this is for a different brand, and you're never going to know which brand it is because I changed the name and the color. So the whole the whole idea of this email is that we are announcing to the email list that we're releasing. It's an old wallet, but it's coming in a new shade. You know what I mean? It's a new color that's being released. So we the first thing I always do when I sit down to something like that, because normally you would just get a brief from your client that would say like, hey, on this date we are releasing this thing, or this is what's happening, and we need you to announce it to the client, to our email list. And your client might sometimes, I'm sorry, I need to move, I'm very fidgety. And sometimes the client might have like ideas about what they want to include in the email, but most of the time it'll just be very basic. And then you, as a copywriter, as a creative mind, will get to come up with the wonderful ideas. So what I normally do is I just note down the things that come into my head. This is a men's wallet, so we could position it as the perfect gift. Gift for the man of your life. So the reason I'm saying that is because the audience is mostly women. Although there is a big chunk of men in there, but like it's not gonna hurt them if they receive this email. We could split it, and then the messaging could be different. So immediately the first thing that popped into my mind when I saw that the shade was gray was the 50 Shades of Grey, because it's, Valentine's Day, and then this is like a wallet, and I don't know why I got this reference in my head. So maybe something with 50 Shades of Grey. I feel like that would be funny. So when you're making references like that, especially to things that, for example, if I were writing to Gen Z, I would never mention 50 Shades of Grey, because they were too young when it came out, and they probably think it's horrible and cheesy. But millennials plus, I feel like they will get the reference and they'll either find it funny or it's gonna bring some kind of memories in their head. Let's just focus on that. It's gonna be a short, sweet, fun email. And this is another thing. Copywriting isn't always a long plain text email that dives into all the benefits of the wallet and all that stuff. Sometimes you're just sending a fun message out, because the brand has a reputation, it has a client base, the product is amazing, so it sells itself, and all you have to do is just send the message. And making it fun and creative obviously builds the brand's reputation, but you don't have to go crazy with copywriting formulas and stuff like that. You don't have to start this email with hey, do you suffer from bad wallet problem or something like that? I don't know. Hey, is your wallet ready for change. Like that's so cheesy. Please don't do that. Um so let's come up with a cool headline. And remember, sometimes a headline can also be simple, and sometimes that's what works best. And it depends on like the brand history. If I guess you have to think of it this way, like, does it make sense to like start off with like a 50 Shades of Grey reference? Or does it make sense to start with the announcement so that the reader straight away knows what the email is about? And a lot of it is going to be like the decision of your intuition, because as a copywriter, you rely a lot on your creativity and also on your intuition. I feel like I'm like leaning towards the microphone. Okay, so normally I would start with something like header. Another thing that I want to mention is like when you're writing copy for design, like for a designed email, so this copy is gonna go to a graphic designer. You have to be able to like imagine the design, because if you just write like copy that just would be very difficult, near impossible to fit into a design, especially considering the branding guidelines that you have and like the possibilities of a designer, because the graphic designer might not have the possibility or the time to create like a 3D render or like source some really amazing stuff immediately. And you might, so you're always going to have like the assets from the client. Like in this case scenario, I would have pictures of the wallet. Then you're going to have like the previous designs that this brand has sent out, like the previous emails or whatever, that goes with their branding guidelines and stuff like that. Then you're gonna have the copy that's gonna be like fitted into this puzzle. And when you're writing the copy, you kind of want to understand like how many words should this have, because sometimes with design less is more. And then if you're leaning towards plain text, still less is more. But then you obviously need a little bit more. Sometimes you have hybrid emails where you would have like a little bit of design, a little bit of plain text copy, a little bit of design, and kind of intertwine. So you have to use your imagination to picture your words in the design. And oftentimes as the copywriter, you are the one that will give, set the tone for the design. And the designer just kind of takes your words, takes your ideas, takes your vision, and turns it into an actual visual thing, whereas before it was just in your imagination. So I know the brand's guidelines, so I'm not going to like show you their emails because that would reveal their identity, which we don't want to do because we don't want me to get in trouble. But I will just say to you that their emails are on the minimalistic side. We don't go overboard with the designs. And normally for stuff like that, we tend to start off simple to let people know what the email is about, but at the same time get them excited, and then we can like play around with the copy or whatever. So the first headline that I would write, and normally when I'm writing, I would do like whatever headlines come to my mind, and I would just play around with it and see how it fits, see how I see it in the design. So it could be something like, be the most elegant man in the room with the Franklin in olive gray. Like that's too much. It's too cheesy in my opinion. There's like intuition and like balance that have to go into this. And I see like this would be a cool headline with like a beautiful picture of the wallet. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. So this could be like the header. And then for example, for the subheader, okay, so I went with something like this. Meet the Franklin in olive gray. Hint, Cupid approved gift. And we could have this, oh, I'm sorry. We could have this like in italics, and then the CTAs at the bottom would be like shop the drop. So the reason I went with that is because I wanted to like, introduce a new product, obviously. So by the headline, people will know what they're about to see. And then The subheader, I just wanted to like lightly, gently hint at Valentine's Day. And then the CTA is just show the drop. And then, but you have to understand, like, if I'm a guy and I open this email and I see, Cupid approved gift, I'm not gonna like run away from this email if I'm interested in the wallet, you know. But a lot of people get scared. They're like, no, I can't say that. It doesn't make, like, it's not gonna speak to every single person in the audience. It's like, yeah, good morning. Okay, so then I want the body section to really like emphasize this beautiful shade and the color, and a lot of that is going to be done visually, but we can introduce that section in a fun way, and this is where I want to do the 50 Shades of Grey reference. Okay, so in the body section, I just said obsessed. We might not get through all 50 Shades of Grey, but we had to add this one to the mix, even just to showcase the wallet in the new shade. So, and then shop olive gray. So I think this sentence, the subheader, might do with some editing, but the main idea is there, and usually this is what matters the most, like to get the main idea out of you onto the piece of paper, and then you can edit the sentence. Because if you try to like edit it in your head and you never actually see it visually in front of you, it's gonna get messy, and then you might actually give up on it. So it's nice. And then I added the header obsessed because obviously like 50 Shades of Grey was all about like obsession and very intense, but we're like playing on that because we're saying we're obsessed with the color. And then shop olive gray, and ideally, you know, like I would probably like, I visualize this button being like the color of the actual lever, and like these colors really being like intense in the email. And then normally in the like footer, I would touch on like the last thought. So in this case, I want to touch on the Valentine's Day gifting stuff again. So I mentioned here I wanted like a perfect gift for the man of your life or something like that. So I definitely want to add that in and just kind of emphasize Valentine's Day towards the end. So let's just do that. Okay, so here it just say, for the man of my life, X the Franklin is a gift he'll hold near and dear for the years to come. So I visualize like the header of this section, for the man of my life, is being almost in like a handwritten font with like a cute X at the end, or like a lipstick stain, and then just kind of this. So this would really speak to women that want to give that like beautiful gift. So you see how, for example, the design can do so much work. Like if I wanted to say, convey the idea of like gifting your man like a, I don't know, like a sexy gift almost, because you know it's like a nice high quality wallet, and you know for men like wallets are associated, like that's where you hold your money, like your bank cards, and for men that's kind of like your financial power is kind of like a, you know, like an important thing. And then for the woman to like give their man for Valentine's Day like a gift that's like, you know, kind of sexy like that, even though it's not like actually sexy, but you know what I mean. Just adding like a flirty X or like the lipstick print would do the work so quickly, because you have to think about the fact that it's easier for us to process visual stimuli than it would be to process like a paragraph of copy. So I feel like this is really like, this would be really cool. And then it just says the Franklin is a gift you hold near and dear for the years to come. So then it kind of softens the message, where it's like, not only is it like a nice gift, high quality gift, it's also something that he will love and like hold close to him, literally, because it's a wallet that he's gonna carry every single day. And then I just end it with shop now. With the right designer's touch, it's just gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna pop, and it's gonna grab attention. It's gonna be something that people will enjoy looking at, looking through. It's not very time consuming. It's not very you know, heavy on the processing power of your brain. If you're interested in more like copywriting content, then obviously stay subscribed. I don't release content regularly because ADHD, and if you want consistency, this is not the channel, but I try really hard to do my best. And I have lots of videos on my channel about copywriting research and writing copy, different types of copy, freelancing, all that kind of stuff. So, go crazy on the channel. I really appreciate your comments and your likes, even if sometimes I don't respond to the comments. It's just because I get overwhelmed really easily. And if you have any requests or questions, yeah, leave them in the comments below and I will get back to you soon. I'm so confused. Mom, please tell me I was recording. I might have not been recording it at all. Oh, I'm so scared. Oh wait, I found the button. There was a okay. That was embarrassing. Bye.